Today I'm going to give you a fish room tour. I'm going to feed every fish I have in here. So I'm going to go through my tanks one by one, and that also includes feeding this guy. So let's go ahead and start over here. So this is the best aquascape I have. And in this tank I have a couple of neon tetras, as you can see, and I also have a pair of Apistogramma atahualpa. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll put it on the screen. And this pair is actually wild caught. I've only had them for a couple of days now, so they're still settling in. But they're quite active and you can actually see them coming forward here eating. They might not look like much right now, but once they get bigger, they will get much better colors. So the next tank right beside the neon tetra tank is my Bloody Mary shrimp tank. This is also an aquascape, and I'm actually trying to breed those Bloody Mary shrimps in here. And it's going fairly well. I already went ahead and put some food in, so they will gather at the front here. And if we look at these shrimps, the quality of them is fairly good, I'd say. I do cull them when I see bad ones, and I usually give those shrimps away to people that wants them. I am running CO2 in both those aquascapes, and I'm using the same method in both of them. Basically, I have a nutrient layer underneath the substrate. I think it's called the Wallstad method, and as you can see, it works pretty well. Now, underneath those aquascapes, I also have this tank here, and in this tank I have regular cherry shrimps. So this is also a tank where I'm breeding cherry shrimps, so I do regularly pick bad shrimps out, but it's starting to look better and better, but it takes some time to actually get the quality of the shrimps that I want. So as you can see, the quality of the shrimps, they vary a little bit. What is funny is that it is actually a yellow one here that has emerged from the red ones. I am actually gonna keep this yellow one because I quite like it. It's a pretty nice shrimp, to be honest. So this is the big rack I have, and these tanks I have here, they have quite nice measurement. They are 110 centimeters long, 70 centimeters deep, and 35 centimeters high. So I can actually use them to quite a lot of fun stuff. So in the top left one here, I have all of my Malawi cichlid. So the fish that are in here are Labidochromis pearlmut, Chindongo salusi, and Cynotilapia afra yellow reef. There are also a pair of bristlenose plecos and 2 Asian sun catfish. And the main food they get are Malawi flakes and some Malawi granulate. And I also give those Asian sun catfishes a little bit more meaty food. In the one beneath that, I have all my Geophagos tapaios orange heads. I feed my earth eaters with basically the same food, just a bit different flake food that contains more color enhancer. And this here, this is Squirt, my little short body Geophagos. And over here in the top right one, I have a lot of silver dollar fry. Now it's really hard to get my silver dollar fry on camera, but I'll do my best to try to show you. I mainly feed these with freshly hatched brine shrimp. And in the one beneath that, I have a lot of Malawi cichlid fry. So this is the tank where all the fish fry go when they're starting to grow a little bit larger. So I mainly feed with flake food here and some smaller granulate. Now I think it's time to go get some action and go feed that pike. So I keep the pike by itself. It is a voracious predator, but most of the time it's just standing still like this and just waiting for me to provide it with some food. So the pike tank is just a low-tech aquascape I made. The bottom substrate is just sand, and I've put some root tabs down here and there to try to provide the plants with a little bit of nutrients to take up with the roots. Other than that, I'm not adding any CO2, and I'm only really adding liquid fertilizers to this tank. And now let's move over to this rack I have here and take a look at these two tanks here. So this here is another fry tank, and I'm keeping the smallest of my Malawi fry in here. So I am currently trying to get them over to take some flake food and some of the finest granulate I have. And there are actually 2 species of Malawi fry in here, and it's the Labidochromis pearlmut and also the Chindongo salusi. So the tank I have on top of this rack is my Pathway aquascape. And the only fish I have in this right now is this, I think they're called sparkling gouramis. this tank is gonna get a rescape really soon because I'm just not enjoying it that much anymore. So I think it's better to just tear it all out and make another scape out of it. I've saved this tank for last, and I have quite a couple of different fish in here. I have 2 Oscar cichlids in here, I have 2 peacock bass, I have 2 African bushfish, I have a flagtail, I have a couple of silver dollars, and those are actually the parents of my silver dollar fry up in the fry tank there. I also have 1 big pleco in here, and also my freshwater stingray. And I have to feed my stingray with a pair of pliers, because otherwise there's just no chance he's gonna be able to catch any of those food. They never touch the bottom. But as you can see, the Oscars are quite hungry all the time, so they bother him a little bit. So actually I am considering giving those Oscar cichlids away eventually. We'll have to see how it goes really. So those are all the tanks and all the fish I have. And if you enjoyed this, it would be nice if you could drop a little thumbs up for this video. And the subscribe button is down here if you want to hit that. And that is all for today's video, and I'll see you next time.